My name is Darragh McCullough. I'm a writer and farmer from County Meath. I'm interested in absolutely everything that's around me, and I do love showing my homeland off. You know that saying, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life? Well, here I am presenting a TV show where I curate a money can't buy trip for different writers that I'm going to show around. The thing about us writers is that we're a curious bunch. We're able to string a sentence together and we love getting out of the house. So join me as I get to see what's around me through author's eyes as we follow the writer's way. In this episode, I'm delighted to be curating a trip for the amazing Lizzie Damilola Blackburn. Her debut novel, Yinka, Where Is Your Husband?, was a global smash, and she's followed it up with an even better book. Lizzie Damilola Blackburn, you're so welcome to my home county of County Meath and to the Knightsbrook Hotel here in this glorious weather. Where else would you be? So this is your second book, The Rewrite, equally fabulous if you don't mind me saying so.
Thank you.
As your first. Tell us a bit about it.
The Rewrite is a rom-com set in South London, and it's about Temi, a British Nigerian writer who lands herself this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to ghostwrite for a celebrity. But then, to her shock and horror, it ends up being for her ex.
Did you have any preconceived notions about what Meath would feel like or look like or what you might see here?
Well, when I checked the weather forecast, it said it's going to rain, so I had to bring my umbrella and my jacket.
Sensible. One of the things that we do well in Meath is a deep history, castles, all that kind of stuff. Is that something that floats your boat or catches your fancy?
Yeah, I studied history at college, and I really enjoy it. And I just love learning about heritage and just old things and how they came into being. So I love things like that.
Well, that's great news because our first stop is going to be Trim Castle. It's just up the road here. An 800-year-old castle. Wait till you see it. It's so impressive. It just sits on the skyline. This was the seat of power. This was the capital of the country. Long before Dublin was even crawling out of the swamp, this was where all the action was at. And that's why this castle is so impressive. This was the fortress of its time, built by Hugh de Lacy. He was the local billionaire. He basically owned as far as the eye could see, and he wanted to build the biggest, the best, the strongest castle that the locals had ever seen. And so the Boyne River is just snaking its way around here, and that was also a big part of the defence of the castle. This is the perfect place to build a castle 800 years ago. Bear in mind, back then, there was no highways, there was no roads. The river was the highway of its time. And the River Boyne, one of the biggest rivers in the whole country and certainly in this region, loops right around the castle. It forms not just a route out of the castle to the sea where you could transport materials in or out, but it also forms this beautiful boundary, this defence boundary around the castle, because however hard it might be to attack a castle when you're standing here, if you're in the middle of the river, it's a 10 times harder, right? A river valley, the Boyne Valley, is also a wonderfully fertile area. And bear in mind, 800 years ago, food was not something that people could take for granted. So you wanted to locate your town or your people in the most fertile spot, and the Boyne Valley was it. This was where the first farmers in Ireland set up, and it wasn't by accident because the lands around the alluvial plains, the floodplains of the river, wonderfully rich soils. So you had this slightly elevated site, a river that gave you protection, and the river valley that gave you food. What more do you want? And the people in the town of Trim and in Meath and the surrounding area, they're so proud of this. I mean, it's obviously part of the culture, but it's also part of the modern culture because, movies like Braveheart were shot here, Mel Gibson came to town, it was like Hollywood in County Meath for a while, and there was so much excitement. And so it continues to have a really important cultural role for the county today. You can see just how impressive this castle is. Still today, 800 years later, it soars into the sky 30 meters high. The walls are so wide. My arm span is about 6 foot, give or take. The walls in there double the width of my arms, 12 foot in thickness. So it didn't matter what you threw at those walls, they were going to stay standing. And that's part of the reason why it's still standing today, so tall, so proud, and so impressive.